Right people, I've got iOS 17 beta on my iPhone SE and I thought I'd talk to you guys about my favorite features so far and some of the smaller changes I've noticed that Apple did not mention on stage. So the first thing I found mildly interesting was the new personalized phone call UI feature. There's surprisingly a lot of customization here, and yes, it's a pretty goofy feature, but instead of you having to rely on others to pick a photo for you in their contacts, you can now pick a funky pic of yourself with some fancy text, and that's going to appear on your friends and family's devices. Live voicemail is also something I could see coming in super clutch. I personally rarely pick up numbers I'm not aware of, because 9 out of 10 times it is a dodgy guy trying to scam me, but of course, if there is an important call from someone new, I can now get a transcription of the voicemail, and I'll know immediately if I need to call them or not. Now unfortunately, it seems this might be US only first, since I'm assuming carriers globally need to first support this, so I'm hoping it does roll out pretty quick because I can see myself using this on a regular basis. This actually seems to work in a similar fashion to what Google offers on their Pixels. And so yes, Apple's technically just straight up copied Google, but honestly, I don't care guys. It's a convenient feature and more devices should have this. And by the way, would like to remind you guys, like this video and subscribe for more content like this. It would be appreciated. Now the next few features I've enjoyed using are mainly related to iMessage, which I'll be honest guys, I don't really use that often because I'm not based in the US. WhatsApp is really the main messaging app most people use, but for the few people I use iMessage with, there are some nice changes. The first thing is swipe to reply, which honestly we should have got years ago because this is way more convenient than long pressing on a message to reply, so thank you Apple for finally catching up with the competition in this aspect. Now a feature I was looking forward to testing was the new transcription of audio messages feature, but this unfortunately is not working with the SE because, as one expects, iOS 17 is pretty buggy right now, hence why I've got this on the SE and not my main 14 Pro Max. I'm not living that risky life putting betas on my main device, but coming back to this feature, I'm hoping it works once the public version of iOS 17 releases. Another feature I have not tested just yet, but I can see myself using, is sharing locations and also checking in with family and friends. Since I do have younger siblings, I am pretty overprotective, and so I could see myself telling them to use this when they occasionally go out, since the phone telling me they've safely arrived at their destination is reassuring, and I can see parents using this. A feature that I've had some fun playing around with is using your own photos to create stickers and react to messages and basically use them anywhere you like. Now obviously developers need to first support this, which I'm assuming will happen in the coming months, but from my limited use with it on iMessage, it's been pretty neat. Yes, it's not for everyone, but I can occasionally see myself using this with friends and family, and considering how well lift subject works already on iOS, this feature builds upon that, and you can also add some snazzy effects to your stickers. Now moving to standby, I'm glad this rumor panned out, but it does not work as expected. Now for those wondering, this basically turns your iPhone into a home hub-like device when plugged in and in a horizontal position. However, unfortunately, only the 14 Pros with the always on display stay in standby for as long as you want, and the other iPhone models have to be tapped and the information is only shown for a few seconds, but I do kind of wish it stayed on this screen for longer. I will say though, the feature straight up doesn't work on the SE. Sometimes it goes into standby in portrait, and other times I see nothing, so maybe it's iOS 17's fault, and the information staying for a few seconds is a bug, so hopefully we do see improvements to this feature with future betas. Also, I really wish the iPad got this. Naturally, a larger display is better for displaying content, and so I could definitely see that being the ideal replacement to a home hub-like device, and it could basically be Apple's answer to the Pixel tablet, but unfortunately there is no mention of this with iPadOS 17. In fact, considering iPadOS usually gets iOS features a year late, I'm guessing we're going to see this with iPadOS 18. Moving to a feature that Apple's perfectly executed, it's interactive widgets. This should have really been here the day we got widgets, but I'm glad Apple's finally given us this, and it's already super useful ticking off things on the reminder widget, and once Spotify updates their music widget, I'm definitely going to be controlling music straight from the home screen. Name Drop's also a pretty cool feature that ties into AirDrop that I have not tested just yet, but the animations Apple showed us are very nice and in the off chance I actually go outside, touch grass, and meet someone, it's pretty nice I can now easily airdrop this instead of having to type out my number. Also, the airdrop changes in general with iOS 17 were great. I like the fact you can now bring phones close together to initiate a transfer over airdrop, and also finishing transfers over the internet. That's gonna be super clutch. Unfortunately, we can't try out the journal feature just yet, but I might test this actually because, like the rumors pointed out, the phone automatically collects data about your day, and that could be the starting point for your journal entry every day. So yeah, this is pretty neat, and the UI looks pretty nice, so I might try this. Now, iOS for many years has had horrific autocorrect, and allegedly Apple's fixed this with iOS 17. Now, it's too early to tell, of course. I've got to keep using it, and hopefully it learns how I type over the coming days. But I have thankfully noticed that ducking is no longer a thing we can swear on iOS. Thank you, Apple. But another keyboard feature I like is the new inline as you type feature. This predicts what you're going to write next using machine learning, similar to what Google offers with Gmail. So yeah, this is going to be super useful. Again, I've not noticed this coming up just yet because the phone's still learning how I type, but hopefully after a few days, this starts giving me accurate predictions. Another small change I appreciate is adding Face ID to private browsing, which means if someone randomly gets access to your phone, they're not going to be able to see your private tabs without your face. So if you search for incredibly dodgy things that others should not see, this feature's for you guys. Now, as the rumors had predicted, hey, you know the words, has now been shortened to just saying Siri on iOS. And thankfully this is optional, which is great because I'm personally very sure that's going to cause more accidental triggers, but I did see some of you guys say in the comments you want to see this change, so I'm glad Apple's giving users a choice. In photos, iOS 17 also brings improvements to face recognition, which has been iffy at times in the past, and this also supports dogs and cats in the family. Now, another change I've appreciated is the AirPods pop-up now coming in dark modes, which I'm surprised it took Apple this long to fix. Also, Apple's fixed the PDF situation on iOS, where you can autofill parts of it. This will be super convenient. Now, the final two things are major quality of life improvements many are going to appreciate. The first thing is iOS 17 automatically clearing up older verification codes found in messages and mail. And personally, I've been wanting to share AirTags with family members for a long time because I find it weird we can see the location of our family members' iDevices, but not their AirTags. So I'm glad this has now been fixed with iOS 17. So that's about it for the features that intrigued me with this update. I think I've covered most of the important features, and this definitely is not that big of an iOS refresh, and kinda feels like iOS 16.7, but honestly guys, if it ends up being more stable, I'll take it because, as I've expressed many times, iOS 16 was super buggy from day one to even now, so if iOS 17 can of course be much better from day one, I'll gladly have less gimmicky features and more stability with iOS. And honestly, compared to iOS 16 beta last year, iOS 17 beta has been pretty decent. Obviously there are a few bugs, that's to be expected, but the fact it's already pretty stable means the public version could be bug-free. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments guys, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching.